The drink, we're clicking to the environment. We're clicking to the environment. We're drinking to the environment. Yes.
Two.
All right, awesome. Sweet, man.
All right.
Well, welcome to the drink, my man. How are you?
I'm good, bro. How are you?
I'm good,
I'm
man.
excited.
I am great. I'm so excited to have you on the show, man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. It means a lot.
Yeah, no worries. All right, so real quick. So yeah, welcome to the drink. Cheers to being on the show. Give me a little clink through the camera. Woohoo!
Salute.
What is that? What are you drinking?
A little cafefe.
Nice.
That dark cafefe. What, you got Beach House over there?
I do. Yeah,
Which one
I
you
got
Please don't tell me it's a grapefruit.
no.
Okay, because it's awful.
I have not tried that. However, I have the Nut House Porter.
Sounds
It's
good.
actually rather good. I must say, it's actually rather good.
I'm a porter fan.
I got a 4-pack of this other porter and then a coffee porter because I know my girlfriend likes it. So, but I didn't realize it was. I think it was like a mixture of coffee porter and this. So I tried both and it was really good. And I'm not
Awesome.
much of a coffee porter fan or just a porter in general.
As much as I love coffee and I love porter together, to me, it's
Yeah, I don't
not
know. It was actually
okay.
pretty good, and I'm not a huge fan of those.
No.
But I just finished my 6-pack of Lighthouse too. So if you haven't gone there already, go to Beach House Brewery in Belmar in the hook
Belmar,
you.
New Jersey. Yeah, they're good. I'm just not a fan of their grapefruit one. Shout out to Beach House. Fix that shit. There.
Wait,
Oh,
there we go.
there you go.
I bought the shirt just to rep them on the show.
Yeah.
They don't pay me for. I wonder if they even know that I like just promote them on my show. But anyway,
I'm sure they appreciate it regardless.
well, actually, I talked to the guy and he's like, "Yeah, send me your info and I'll connect you with the social media guy." I'm like, "Okay," so whenever that decides to happen.
Exactly.
But all right, man. So like I said, welcome to the drink sustainability. At your when you're ready, just simply for everyone that does not have a clue of who you are, just give a brief background of you and your story and what you do now.
Cool. So, to those who don't know who I am, my name is Dillon Cafiero. I started up a coffee business back in September of 2020.
And if you could just speak a little bit louder, that'd be great. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
How's this sound? Sound better?
A little bit louder.
I'm not
If
trying to
you
wake
can.
up the house. I could wait. I could.
Okay,
I
no,
could
that's
say
fine. That's fine.
I could do really loud if you want. So my name is Dillon Cafiero. I started a coffee business back in September of 2020. It's been going really, really well since then. Little backstory of what was going on was I was working for a company for a little while, and unfortunately had to go our separate ways. And instead of I gave myself like a week. I kind of was like reflecting on what happened, and I thought to myself, I've had this dream to start this business for a long time. And I'm like, do I just get into another job and just repeat the cycle and just keep on getting another job and get another job? And then I eventually am on my deathbed, just only working jobs and never starting my dream business ever. And, I'm going to die with that regret. And I was like, no. How's language on here? Can we say whatever you want?
Yeah, it's free game, man.
All right. All right, cool. I was like, fuck that. And like, I just wouldn't, I just, I don't know if this is like a family friendly podcast, but
I mean, we throw one or two out there, but it's not like every other word is like a curse word.
It's not the Joe Rogan experience. I hear you. Okay, so, I knew that if I never pulled the trigger, I would just regret it. And, I don't want to grow my whole life with that in the back of my head and just think like, oh, I should have done it when I was younger. I should have done it. And then by the end of my life, and just never do it. It would kill me. So I was like, no, I'm going to pull the trigger. I did. It took me a few months to create what it was. I had to tweak a couple ideas of how I was going to start the business. It was originally going to be a coffee shop. And, in the middle of a pandemic, it probably wasn't the greatest thought of starting a shop, due to the fact if we get hit with another lockdown and then I close my shop and then I go out of business and I'm done. So I had to like reinvent how I could take my dream and make it efficient in today's world. And I basically took my brand, I built a brand, created my own coffee, and created like a delivery service for this coffee. Whether I hand deliver it or I ship it, it's people are getting it in the most convenient way. And with so many people, working from home and, even teachers working from home, it's just made even more sense to have this business because people are more inclined to drink coffee at home, don't go out as much, don't go to Starbucks, it just made sense. So, and I was like, no, I'm going with my gut. I'm going to go this route with the business. And so far it's been, it's been a blessing. I mean, I never expected it to get to where it is today, how quickly within the last 4 months. I mean, it's, I just hit the other day my 500th order milestone. And I was, at the beginning of the business, I was thinking, I'm like, oh, that's going to take me like a year to get to that point. And it took me 4 months. And it's a great feeling,
Wait, can you just repeat that number?
500 orders.
500 orders?
In right under 4 months.
Woo! Good for you, man. That's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
I'm proud to be a part of that number too.
I'm grateful for you to be a part of that number. And it means a lot.
Hey, that's one of the reasons why I'm having you on my show is because this is for everyone that doesn't know, this is what the packaging of Dillon's Edgar Allan Joe coffee comes in, and it's actually really cool. And I did not know how to, I like coffee. I do, and this is actually really good.
Thanks.
Me personally, I'm just saying like this. How long have I been buying your coffee now? For a few months now, right?
A few months, almost since the beginning.
Almost since the beginning, right? Yeah. Because all of a sudden I saw your little Instagram post, or I forget what it was. I think it was Facebook or Instagram. And then I was like, yo, I know this guy. Let me support him. Because I didn't feel like going to Starbucks, and also at the time I was like, yo, he's doing this thing, so why not? So yeah, Gold.
Like,
what?
Gold Bug, yeah. No,
yeah,
I was just saying, like,
Roast is like, isn't it the more popular one?
It was.
It was.
It was for the longest time. And Raven Roast officially has become the most sold roast I've had so far.
Nice.
Yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, everyone started ordering dark roast. Maybe because it's colder out and people like bolder coffee. I don't know, but it just made like a 180. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, the name just itself has, I think, almost sold the business in a sense. Like it's
like sold itself.
Yeah, like people, I'm not here to reinvent the wheel. Coffee is coffee at the end of the day. There are companies out there that cheap out, buy craft coffee, buy out of season coffee. I'm not going to name any coffee shops that I know do that, but but I figured if I give a really good product, I have the right branding, it's just going to sell itself, and it pretty much has. And there's people that don't even like coffee who buy the coffee because of the name, solely because of the name. And
that was partially me. I'm a little guilty of that.
And that's fine. You've been ordering and drinking it, at least from what you say. And it's, you know,
Yeah, I sent you a
it's
couple
great.
of those promo pictures for you. I like kind of did 2 of the bags because I didn't realize that I ordered 2 bags. Well, that was just
Right.
my silliness, but yeah, I kept my thing on. I think it was like every 2 weeks. Is one week I was like drinking it. Me and my girlfriend were drinking it nonstop, and the next
Mhm.
week I like wasn't even home to drink it, but I still had it in the thermos, which I was drinking too. So yeah, it was good. I
Yeah.
mean, it still is, but
It's
you know.
it's been a journey though. I mean, I still remember there's this one customer that I had like at the beginning who it was again somebody I never met before in my life. And the majority of the people, like I mean, I had a lot of friends and family like, you know, support me and people I went to high school with, including yourself. And again, I'm grateful for everything you've done. But there's been so many people I've never met before in my life that just are ordering
That's
and
awesome.
reordering and reordering. And there was this one guy at the beginning of within the first month. Um, you know, he like within a day he messaged he told me it's like I have a high standard of coffee. Like I have a really high standard of coffee. So if it's not good, I'm gonna tell you. If it's really good, I'm gonna really tell you. I was like, all right. I was like, let me know regardless. I want feedback.
Right.
And he sends me a picture a week later. I didn't hear from him. He sends me a picture a week later of 2 totally different like brewing devices. One is called a Chemex, the other one's called a V60 pour over. And he was like, I've always been like an auto drip person or like a French press person, but your coffee was so effing good that it made me go spend $120 worth of equipment to just make different types of ways of coffee.
What?
And he's like, I'm in love. And he's been ordering since September. So he's just been continuously ordering. And
That's awesome.
it's, yeah, it's been this coffee's been turning people. You know, there's people that are like, I hate black coffee, and they take a sip of my coffee. They're like, I love black coffee, and it's just
I
it's
drink
great.
yours honestly like that. So like ever since I've been supporting you with your coffee, I've been drinking it black, and then half the time I actually put a little sweetener in it just because I just love sweet coffee anyway. But
Fair,
that's just my preference. But
and
like
that's okay.
straight up, like your coffee is really good. I mean, like
Thank you.
I've had Starbucks. I mean, everyone has had Starbucks once or twice in their life, and
Fair,
like, well, it's just a huge brand. I mean, and
yeah.
eh, I mean, it's good too. I like for I kind of like
I
did
won't knock it.
the rough like um pricing in my head for like the the cups that I do for how much I buy it for from you, and
Right.
it's actually a lot less money.
See, that's the common misconception. You know, people will always choose convenience at the end of the day, which I get. I mean, there's nothing like being able to go through a drive-through at a Starbucks and grab your coffee, not get out of your car, not have to move or do anything
Oh, dude,
extra.
we've been sold convenience like hard freaking core in this country. Oh my god.
Ever since
Don't get me
McDonald's first
started.
started, it's been since then. But like in an economic standpoint, drink coffee at home saves you so much money. I mean, one bag of my coffee is $14.
Mm,
A large cold brew from Starbucks is about $4 to $5. You drink
that's what I'm
one to
saying.
maybe
Like
two of those a day, you already bought a bag of coffee, which that bag of coffee is going to last you,
longer,
you know,
in my personal opinion.
maybe a week, depending on how frequent you drink it. You know, I have
Yeah.
people ordering every 3 4 days because they drink so much coffee, but you know
Jeez.
they still tell me that they're saving money because they were drinking coffee, each of them in their house, 2 to 4 times a day. So
Damn.
it adds up. I mean, it adds up, and you know it's annoying to have to like go buy coffee or buy a bag of coffee and brew it yourself and figure it out. But like, you know what?
Yeah, but you also get to like customize it to your liking though too.
Exactly. Like you are in full control of what your product that you're
Yeah.
coming out with, you know, and that's it. And that's why like I think coffee education is so important, something that I'm gonna be incorporating into my business soon.
Hell yeah, dude.
To teach people, you know, and not be scared to like make their own coffee, you know, because I feel like there's so many different options out there, so many different types of coffees. Do I grind coffee? Do I buy ground coffee? Do I do a pour over, or do I do a French press? Like, what the hell is a French press? You know, like it's just like there's so much intimidation factor with making coffee that
Right.
I feel like if I take the intimidation out of it, it's going to make people
Oh my
like
god.
an ease of
Yeah.
mind to them. You know?
Yeah. Well, for example, actually, I do have a question now. What is a pour over, or is it pretty much how it sounds?
It's pretty much how it sounds. I mean, a pour over is, let's say you have a mug like this, right? And
Okay.
you have a device that looks like almost like a cone funnel, and you
Okay.
have a cone shaped filter, and you put a certain amount of coffee in there, and you pour it over, and it drips through the filter
Oh, okay.
into the mug. Yeah.
Okay.
But there's so many different ways of doing it. There's so many different ratios. There's a lot to it. But
Oh, so there's like a whole science behind it, though, right?
yeah, I mean, so as you know, and a lot of people in this world know, like, people like like a common thing that people do or that people know of is like wine tastings, because wine could be so complex with the taste and the notes and
Yeah, that's true.
all that. There are wine experts that say that coffee is like way more complex than even wine because there's so many
Really?
variations, not just like there's just so many regions, so many variations, and so many different types of plants and species that like it's almost impossible to line up two of the same. Like it's so unique each cup of
Right.
coffee almost. So it's and that's why I love it because like it's so you almost learn something new every day in coffee. It's I feel like there's there's so many factors on how the washing process is when they harvest the plants and the elevation of where the plants are growing and then
Oh, well, yeah,
you
the
know
elevation, the location, the
yeah,
soil pH, everything. Actually,
everything. But
since you're talking about that, I literally have in front of me a website that I'm looking at, like the life cycle of coffee. And I was just
mhm,
kind of like jotting down some notes before the show.
that's cool, man.
Dude, it's
It's fun
insane.
learning about it.
It is, and it's it's actually really insane on how like coffee and the life cycle of coffee is actually really incorporated into sustainability. Like it's
I agree.
and I study sustainability, and there's a lot of professional leaders of sustainability and environmental studies that no, like it's a whole science,
Hmm.
and like it's incredible on how it's like it's so it's underrated.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that people don't really think about that like
Yeah, exactly.
something that needs to be sustainable. But like any crop that's so mass produced, there's some level of insustainability in a way,
Yeah.
and there's ways of fixing that. Like like for example, like crop management is really important because you don't want to have it taken up too much land and too much acreage. You want to manage it in a more efficient way, whether it's using like pheromone boxes, which is basically just like boxes filled with like insect chemicals that are used to like kind of like fight off like predators in a sense instead of using pesticides because pesticides are extremely unsustainable.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, using the coffee beans, like when you're done roasting them, as compost for fertilizer, or using coffee hulls as fuel instead of using like, I don't know, eucalyptus trees. Like there's so many ways to kind of like keep everything all in the same like realm of things. Like use the
Keep
product you
everything
have,
flowing around.
that, and don't be wasteful, and like
Well, yeah.
and that's
For sure.
and that's why I choose like my coffee to be fair trade, because
Mm.
it's fair trade is almost like kind of like the organization that like makes sure those farms that are certified fair trade, that they're following those regulations and procedures. They're making sure that there's no slave labor going on or child
Right.
labor,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
or there's so much that's incorporated that. And like I'm so prideful the fact that I choose that because I want to make sure that the product I give to people is, one, sustainable, two, it's con- like there's no like bad conscience on what you're buying. Like you're
Yeah,
not
like when you're
con-
drinking, you're not like, oh crap, this is like, you know, it has a bad I guess symbolism or like feeling behind it when you're drinking it. You're like, no, this is actually from like a very rigorous standard, and I'm happy to be consuming it.
right.
It
So
makes you feel
I'll use this as an example. Like, I think it's a common knowledge that Nike has child labor out in China and everything, and it's like it's been known for a long time. And if you're like consciously aware of that, you almost feel guilty like buying a Nike product because small child's hands made those shirts or those shoes, and that shouldn't be the case. Or let's say you have children like slaving over picking cherries out of a tree and you don't buy something that's fair trade. You don't know, like that uncertainty is there. And it's, with having fair trade, it's peace of mind almost, knowing
Yeah.
that every step of the
Really
process from beginning to the cup is completely sustainable, completely like, labored in a way that it's supposed to be. And it's just
it's economical to where it's being produced.
exactly. Yeah, that's definitely one part of it. So
Right.
and
And
it's nice. I could drink coffee confidently knowing that there's nothing wrong with this cup.
well, actually, speaking of which, can you like you touched up on fair trade, which I actually wanted to go into a little bit more too, and like I mean, you could put in your 2 cents. I want to actually like kind of explain it in a weird way too. Like, so for those that don't know what fair trade is or fair trade certification, um, if you ever, I want to like kind of compare it to this. Like, actually, it's like our like the U.S. like OSH Act, Occupational Safety and Health Administration Act. So that's pretty much exactly what you said, where it's a very very strict standard on making sure that workers wherever they may wherever they may be established and working, their workplace is healthy to be working in, does not like cause any sickness or anything, and it's clean and it's work appropriate. Like it's like you're not gonna be getting into any trouble while you're in the workplace, health and physically,
Right.
mentally or physically rather.
A lot of it's just, it comes down to just peace of mind knowing the products that are being made are, against all that, and like there's no
Right.
negativity being put into that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No, and that's
it's
why
just
I
it's a
applaud
little easy,
your brand, dude.
right? Thank you. I mean, it's and you're not the only person who has like pointed that out. Like even people like there's this one girl, Gina, that I know who bought from me, and the reason why she bought from me because like even my packaging is sustainable. Like it's recycled paper, and it's
Yeah, I realize that too.
yeah, and that meant a lot to her. So she bought, like for that sole reason. It wasn't the name. It wasn't because it was me. It was because of how sustainable my packaging was even. And
Yeah.
she even asked if it was fair trade. I said it, and she was like, even more reason to buy from you. As I was like, okay. So it's really important to a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't really speak up about it, but um it's big, especially in a changing world we're in now. A lot of people care about how products are being made. Obviously veganism is one thing that is getting bigger,
Yeah,
and more
that's
popular. And a lot of people are just caring about a lot of things in this world, and I think that's almost like it's kind of like digressing a bit, but I feel like this new wave of like generations, it's almost kind of like a new renaissance in a sense of like
yeah.
caring about things and caring about people and caring about how products are being made. And it's it's a nice feeling. It's nice to see that's happening. There's so much negativity in the world, and this is one thing that should be definitely focused on. So
Yeah, I absolutely agree, dude. Yeah, I really agree. Cheers to that, man. Cheers to fair trade.
cheers to fair trade.
Sustainability.
Cheers to sustainability. I swear I just spilled coffee all over here, and I swear there's no sambuca in here. I promise. Straight Joe.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if your next I was actually thinking about this. I was like, I wonder if he's gonna like put a little bit of like, spike it up a little bit, maybe. But
I gotta go to the gym later, so
oh,
not
okay.
before the gym. Maybe after the gym.
I wasn't sure if like that was your thing or not, like the like Kahlua or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
what's it called? Well, we're actually going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're actually going to just, I want to highlight the fair trade certification little stamp thing, little stamp of approval, and then actually go into one other thing, which is going to be great. So everyone stay put, and we will be right back.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching The Drink Sustainability. Warning. As you watch the show, be sure to clink at your own risk. Drinks may not appear the way that they seem.